Sunday night football in LaLiga. EA Sports comes to you from Mestalla, magnificent Mestalla, one of the great stadiums that comes to Valencia with the pedal and Giants of the game in Spain. List of times. This chair currently 17th in the table, involved in yet another battle to avoid relegation. And tonight, they face Real Madrid. There are question marks over the quality of Los Blancos football in recent weeks, but they are on a run of 6 successive league victories. They need another this evening to keep pace with leaders Barcelona, who are currently 4 points clear at the top of the table. I thought Kitchen Guillaume Balaguer is alongside me tonight. Guillaume, to enjoy one of the classic fixtures of Spanish football. It is. Good evening, everyone, Phil and everyone, because it is an enjoyable game. It is one that brings out of history. And right now, if you look at the now, you see a game with so many layers. For Valencia, the pressures everywhere. Fans are distant with the manager, but he is supported by the club. Fans could be 10 against Govan tonight. On the other hand, Real Madrid has reinforced his image in the past. It was the 3rd of January when he made his debut on the bench for Valencia. Lost against Real Madrid, but gave a really good impression. And then they went to the Bernabeu and beat Real Madrid. But today, the lose will be a 3rd consecutive defeat. It's interesting to find out that Real Madrid have won only 3 of the last 10 matches at Mestalla. I think both the fans and the players feel that it is a special day, and it's one to show where Valencia should be at least. Recent meetings have been tight, emotional affairs, and often decided by fine margins. Too bad not the other one. The 180 seconds league meeting, going 3. Real Madrid and Valencia. Real Madrid with 95 wins, 48 wins for Valencia. But at Mestalla, Valencia have won more matches than Real Madrid. This is historically a very tricky game for Real Madrid, and they need a win. They see if they, but also they need a good performance as well. Yeah, they need to convince the fans that they're in the right path. There's other reasons which I'm sure we'll have time to discuss of why they feel that Carlos Corberán is not the right manager for them. Well, Carlos feels that even though he got 7 points in the summer, and some interesting names come in as well in there. In January, like Guida Rodriguez, Núñez, confirmation of Shadi, all that makes the team stronger. Well, but it's true that performances always fall about that. There is the fatal chance for having been knocked out against Athletic Club at the start of the game in the quarterfinals of the Copa here in Mestalla. They've got him at the end. And also that they lost against Betis, but the goal but at the end as well. So it is a team that seems like no stay, but has managed to get to match the monitor they put in. It's like that they are the 8th butchered into the division, and they find themselves so watching on the island. It is sold out at Mestalla this evening. And I would say this is one of the temples of European football. It really is a special stadium. You realize the magnitude of this club, of this fan base. But they have Finland like that at times. Just posts above the relegation zone. Take on Real Madrid this evening. Real Madrid side who won 4-0 earlier in the season against Valencia at the Bernabeu. Arguably the best performance of the campaign. I do not know that. So now the stars of Mestalla. He's under pressure. Carlos Corberán, the fans, to support the team. They are quite used to. They did not been fan base and a loyal one. In Valencia. Corberán made 3 changes from the midweek cup defeat to attacking group. The little top there is being Jude's right back. So he comes to do 9 years, but he's Valencia debut and the right back. Then we'd be 3 centre backs with Bruce Minotta as a wing back. We'll see top scorer who worked on returns. Other times against this whole club. I think you're right, starting 3 centre backs, 5 at the back. And the idea is to get the plus spaces to deny it, since Real Madrid limit their ability to run to got with the Mbappe and about as a compact unit once Dina out of possession doesn't take of a team that loose ball is on the way one is coming in from Epstein's at the beginning out of France and some of them the Bennett back on and as I mentioned as you share I think at 5-2 in the middle 3-1 for almost the best that they can also do. The Paris starting 11 some changes in the team up on 2-1 over Vallecano last week. Jude Bellingham is injured. This is Junior is suspended and Thomas Cantona dropping to the bench. In comes David Ximenez at right back for his LaLiga debut. To twice the Copa del Rey this season, but the right making his first ever LaLiga start. We do have two right backs on the bench for Real Madrid. Gabriel Herman and Dren, neither of them ready. Mesron dit Sipska dat je dat dan niet recorded earlier and Sainz probably the blank 20 minutes that's his fault and I don't know as saying as usual they don't play a flirt game that produces members of one to the terms of getting away from the violence as you know it's building a transition and they very ruthless. The most informed striker in the world alongside Harry Kane in Mbappe. His strength is 37 and thirds games, just extraordinary. He has scored 37 of Real Madrid's 77 goals in all competitions. Shouldn't invite hope to anyone that Real Madrid out of achieving anything this season. Kylian Mbappe. They are underway then. Real Madrid chinning strict blue, kicking from right to left. In this first half, it is, as we said, ball to the rafters here. It's going to be noisy and it is going to be at Foster. Interesting to see the setup for Real Madrid. Where is Gonzalo Garcia going to play at the moment? It's like he's through the middle and you can Mbappe on the left. Here is Mbappe. Aggressive pressing from Rosa. Ijiho and Salah and clean house and insert himself in the process. Down Modino. Very important that that energy is kept up by Valencia, that they battle for every ball. It's the minimum that defense require. Then of course with the ball they have to be efficient, they have to produce much more than they have done. But the minimum they require is that they just keep everything for every ball, and they just done it there. And as you mentioned, with Mbappe played on the left, Steve perhaps received kind of more inside and trying to lead carry. I don't think that it's to do any of that because you know it's simple as that to get the ball to him. But so there's first few shots again just wanted to touch the ball. So a chance. Bukovic to get the ball into the box early on here. And the way back Gonzalo and as far as net down Juha. Stamp and Juma. That's past Asensio to make the block. Colonna was talking about this team compared to Xabi Alonso's team, and I'm there. I don't know. Given said there are many differences. In fact, in the way they attack, there's still so much for improvement. So much that they could improve on. Defensively, they are a little bit better in terms of recovering the ball there. They are pressuring high, but as a team, it still gives you chances to win the game. And the hope is that when they take them produce enough of those, be effective. As of course, Salad repeating Rayo Vallecano at the back there with a 100th minute penalty from Kylian Mbappe, and toiled against their first city rivals. Mubelo was pleased with the spirits this side showed to keep going, but they were really now at the best. And Trent and Carvajal, as you said, the two right backs. And I guess if Trent has been working very hard on the side, Pinto just made them effort as well to look after him. he's got a work that he does at home too, so he's feeling ready for what he feels in his head. He's the real start of his time at Real Madrid. So you should see, hopefully, if he's respected by injuries, a different trend, one that is going to be a little more ambitious when he comes on the pitch. Now he knows the players, he knows the environment, and don't receive a very shy trend. If he's all doesn't change, if he gets given the opportunity to play. And it's expected I saw Frank just later at the game. I haven't seen Alexander Arnold since the 3rd of December. That's the Celtic club. This is Camavinga under pressure. This disaster by Beltran did really well. And Pereira was producing to the cover. Spoke about set up from Real Madrid, and he had for Carlos Corberan pre-match, and he said he wasn't entirely sure how Real Madrid were going to set up, having seen the starting 11. Here is a ball through the middle with Papelu mostly down to find Beltran. Valencia's recovering. And also, and then need to stick out his throat. Force Fede Valverde came midfield tonight for Real Madrid. He will be delighted to see the name David Jimenez on the team sheet, and he doesn't have to pay up right lap tonight. That perhaps is a more difference between Jimenez and Arbeloa. Likes to respect the wishes of the players a little bit more, their needs, how they feel more comfortable. There is less emphasis on the structure, the way of playing, and it's more about making sure that everybody's in a position they can produce the best football. Obviously, the absence of the issues on Bellingham made the Son players of the money different shape, but Mbappe's choice started on the left. And when you do that, you need to strike, and then Funnel can definitely leave a goal. And what Rodrigo Gomez was born at Real Madrid, he was out eating shit. You had that bad idea than Franco Mastanton on the bench. You think that Mastanton cost ships still problems the million euros. And there's a star games like these ones when it's so many caps to fight for. Suggested you don't really know, maybe she fit that one, doesn't really know where to play. What do you do with him? Here's Chamini, the pressure back to Halson. Real Madrid actually with a really decent away record this season. They've lost the fewest away games in LaLiga, just one loss on the road at the Metropolitano. It's Atletico. They win tonight, they'll have more points on the road than any team in LaLiga. Now red Chomet. Sends him to Valverde. Bring a see that out of flies in that medium block, trying to stop any avenue, shift the ball towards Mbappe. After the Mbappe with those scorers positions on. And Bellingham, 14 goals they've scored. So others going to have to find back of the net helping Mbappe possible in that. Up 48% of Real Madrid's goals haven't concluded Mbappe this season. No competitions. From Daya. Done by Carreras. Here's Camavinga. Under pressure. Then it's in the foul. Curious on that Mbappe. What percentage did you say? 57% or 48%? 48% of the goals, that's a lot. But you would think that that's happening every team he's played. Not that, and he's had that kind of influence on the goals from those is the biggest actually. I think it's 32%, 32 is 32% of the goals of PSG he used to score. So it's a deficit, not of the game of Real Madrid. It's not strange as they can Mbappé scoring lots of goals. It's straight as that the others should see his does right. Maybe his house helps you Temavinga. Paredes. Back to Hausen. Antonio Rudiger as the captain is on the bench tonight. Is David Jimenez. So the well-produced Academy age 9, David Jimenez. What's she doing there? That's a Mbappé. All right. Kenny as forced back. Have it forward again. Square pass to Tchouaméni. Do that. Send about the burst out to Jimenez. Eventually does play it to the young right back. Here's Mbappé. On this better possession, this for Real Madrid trying to find a way through. They're very compact Valencia, but here is Mbappé, but spike that Jimenez. Was all to say. It's very difficult to break our centralized like that. It's the beginning of the game of this thresh. Was very slow. Some Real Madrid. They're going to have to trish Jimenez. And Camelas with the boil of course. From the wide areas and trying to clear superiorities there. That's why Mbappé's meant side to side, link up. And then eventually the distribution seeing thoughts are sharp. And but then yet. And the thing is that spotted something. Valencia. So Matt. Getting one acquainted. This ball in. Big header away from Waduro. On the other is a weaker foot. Just over the season. The LaLiga festival there. He wasn't close there, but number one day did a bad team and Ancelotti by Diaz goes and same goes. And nobody watched a breath on reach there. But he's been used as a right back. I'm not. And when he has been used in midfield, Real Madrid have had a lot of possession and wanted to play in a different way. Didn't suit him at all. He was a very unhappy man. And determined. It's better when I fall. And I'm yet 9 of the Argentine sort of played for Valencia, Lucas Beltrans and very disastrous named in the past. Mario Campos, those films are the most iconic one here, I guess. Huh? So you have the good ones, huh? It's the offer. Beltran. Not get there. Hurst is too deep. Went through to Braga, who got it in towards Dura. Moved away by Tchouaméni. It's up from distance. So I was out there. Yes. Janustik. Come on. Fantastic. Doing a bit Celta centre-back. You start thinking of Argentinians and Valencia and Chileno and squad. Guess what to our idea of yellow, Hi, bud. Just the joke. We can put this on that. We're in Stan Juma. It's not out of 10. Run, gets it back. Here is Danjuma. Oh, get it back, Danjuma. Steady and sticks to the corner. Nice sliding into space there from Danjuma. probably Valencia doing better than what they could give him. I found Valencia didn't build compel and kind of did to her last storm. So tied to there. Runs me off by setting himself at this corner. I'm sorry. His whistle. Doesn't matter. You were not going to be good line. Pressure. You won't know it'll be a fine. Had another chance. Pounded in towards Pepino. And there is Bianca again. Behind from Camavinga. Fred almost fair, and as the game progresses, if the result remains like that, they could have each supported the team. So forget about that majority manager just yet. Give it away by Howson. They'll turn. Bouncing on it. Now they're dead. Trying to get out. And then Valverde for the outlet ball. And Sainz in Carreras. Has to keep it in. Just about. Ball hadn't got out. Here is Kylian Mbappé with space to run into down this left-hand side. Mbappé. And odds by Miraneras. What a challenge that is. And there were 7 volunteer players. Only Gonzalo could have linked up with him, but would have to beat 6 that were on the way. So good tracking by 10. Valencia and superstar today. Teleras nearly soundly felt on. Because his turn came in as a forward, they realized that perhaps scoring shot is biggest trait. He can score in Spanish Watch. He did that with Fiorentina, and he does say that Real Madrid would after him at some point. Decided to go for Fiorentina, but he still their relationship to the point, convinced him. But when he came to Valencia, they realized that his main threat was thinking of being behind the striker. Well, not being the striker, who's actually scored 5 goals in 10 games against Real Madrid, and who's doing really well as well this season with Valencia. 7 goals already. 3 defense like a midfield, as you can see there. Lucas Vantran with an inside of the phone when he can. Very good at committing himself defensively and Seamas with the addition to a pass to assist in his house 2 games. Lucas Beltran. Just 1 goal all season though. And as Divitovski unpaid forward. Tenartu will do that. Carreras gets there. Tramini. Valverde to Tramini. That pace sets off on it run, but pass might find it. Tramini up with the header. Now Meticos in the corner. You can try that most of the time that the defender will arrive there first. Now then leave the 3 centre backs. Chasing Real Madrid did the better way, trying to find why it do that. It's just left it there high, front on the corner that could have gone anywhere. And on its line with that chance. Ball that was taken quickly, this one. Emptied in. It's Valverde to Mbappé. Typical angle. And saved by Divitovski. Comes out for a throw rather than a corner. Hey, you knew Mbappe was going to shoot from there. Yeah, and that's what Real Madrid do. Is said there, set pieces, but once you get the ball into the box, anything can happen. And most of the time, it's very possibly a zigzag line fan. Here is Duda, finding Beltran. Totally down from when I knew, yes. And that is another big pass. And then it's down after the challenge from Camavinga. But you have seen the Real Madrid that seem to pressure hard with more confidence that they can get the ball back, and they do it past than just for Valencia. Pressing to, and yes, statistically that they do that more often. They do that successfully more often. But under Xabi Alonso, it was gonna be part of the straights, and then literally Xabi realized that they don't do it often enough. Even though collectively, one thing like one is better just to. Like most managers Real Madrid have decided in recent years, better to just defend you, but to risk things. But somehow the North is convinced in it. Here's a better way to attack. Found that through pressure high and retrieve the ball most often as they've been doing. So it's a bit of determination there from Dan Juma to win a corner. So it's had set pieces in this game. Ahead to I think this one down. Coming up out of the way by Tramedi. Got me off and get there first, just about. Only done to find Beltran. He moves it off and takes on Camavinga. Can't get past him. Not doubt the commitment of the volunteer players. Still haven't found that moment of value in the last day, but peak defensive work in Real Madrid to land the box. To launch it in. That's for a Beltran. Beltran June Fontaine. Nice idea, but couldn't play it into his path. The sounds could have been on, but needs to put possession back. It was Capellum. Space here for Gaillard. Then Juma. Gaillard continues his run. Juma forced back. Pepelu. Oh, I didn't know. Keeping how do you get him out of the team? On the bench to know how he did that. It's certainly fallen out of favour. It's a strange situation, but one that has to know that the purple was enter strength, if you like. Not sure himself on form, and that brings him down. He's right now at the bottom of his confidence, and there's a lot that has to happen before he actually comes into laying the peeps. That's the mental side of it. The other side, for somebody that was that they were interested in him, and look at the bright, yes, Roger fell off of Spain on the 21 level for sure. Is that Borgi play? Because he's not a holding midfielder, they're playing with two now. He's not a 10. It's not obvious where but he can fit into this team, so So how the header will have to wait till he's down. Can't see it for Kylian Mbappe. The plan stays down for the moment. Mbappe with a shot. Didn't touch it. It's a bit hard. That kind of position, I was expecting to see Mbappe score. Terrific, tough and challenge. Papete, they've just about take the sting out of it. Just past the midway point in this first half. Trying to say that neither manager will be too displeased with how they started the game. But nobody created chances without accompanying it with wonderful football. So, to be expected. And yes, those chances are created, and Mbappe at the bottom at the end of it, then things are going more or less as it did. And in the case of Valencia, they are the sending world, they are committed, the atmosphere is good, and they haven't created anything yet. But again, that's to be respected. I think the choice has been made with an extra defender to make sure that the team is shown it on stuffs from what he had tried. So there's up most of the time. Was by pass. Right, so mad. Parachute that people won the big crowd. Calls these players, 3 players away from Madrid from Barcelona, and at Valencia, 2 points away from San Juan. That's what bottom my ass at the Mayan. But equal, the 3 other teams have taken this point. There's only was points separated, and 10 and 8 Here is Housen. Speaks to run into Dean Housen. He's on the ball. For the my way. Great recovery challenge from Lucas Beltrando, and now Housen is out of position, although there was nobody. It's Vupanic. Tremaine is telling him he doesn't need to go on dogs with other benches driving when there are players. First of all, there are players of Valencia waiting for him, following him. And secondly, not everybody were in the same wavelength. He had lots of players in behind the ball, and Tremaine said, Chamba, and got together, go up together. In these Housen was on the receiving end of some of those famous whistles at the Bernabeu a few weeks ago when they played at home to Levante and 1-2-0. Headlines are all about the whistles from the disgruntled home fans targeting Vinicius, Benjamin, to a lesser extent, Valverde and Dean Housen as well, and Chamanedi. And to Carreras, you start to show a little more respect to the person because of this vessel could be his fault. He started so well, but he's shown to be still a young man. He's learning the trade, lacking a little bit of physicality. He'd be a very, very good centre back this day. And he's Mbappe. Oh, and he's further jumped. But speaking about it, oh, there's Dave here. What a story that would have been. Mbappe, unselfish there. We spotted the space with David Jimenez. I think Mbappe's enjoying the fact that a lot of the balls are going for him, that they look for him to either do a run or a pass, and he's moving all over the place, filling the gaps of Bellingham, and Vinicius doing a little bit what they do. And that opportunity, we saw David Jimenez coming on the right-hand side and decided to assist him. He's on the hay again. The door that was squirmy, but he couldn't find him. The offside flag was up. 22 league goals so far this season. Kylian Mbappe is on course to score 40. Bank language, but at the same time, was he? But there's more of our level left players. The tool find him. Features that didn't follow so much ground, and at that closer to the ball would be it. Oh, then that's how it goes on. The right, but today he feels his book. And watch it this show. It's in the attack all. The time nicely here. Hang on, just said too much return defender. But in it to Popete. So the Nate's bringing it down. It's possessed by Trump, and it is Jimenez. The fans do. Yeah, the fans are still on the pad. And looked at it to be blackters. And could have, but yellow card is there. And who can't fight the lead then. But he is fortunate as we see his chance for David Jimenez. Steps to 1 goal and 4 assists for Real Madrid steer this season. He scored 3 times last season. So that's providing 5 assists. And Theory doesn't like to get forward. Help that implication showing over to Rice on the bench. People love taking us and putting them to be that up there. Both of them are recovering. And Trents, they don't read it. It's brilliant. He did this ball to that time to the bounce. To the back, so it's dispossessed. I think the family in Port challenge. Sometimes I think about it this bell time. It's impressive tonight. Another corner for the hosts. Bit of things to take this on. Slow. Point find its way to Beltrán now. Antebuda leading the counter. She coming out wide. To Valverde since you're applying wide. And San Bonchalo. Same thing. Be a free kick to Valencia, but quick counter from Real Madrid. This is gone out wide. So, the ball that pushed out there, that's been wide weight. And so this is the high one. It's often the case that you had a call that becomes could have fudged off and that dangerous one at the same time. Especially if you've got a team like there, Madrid, that love to run in space. That's the shouldn't be surprised to see Valencia Ginter inside the back of the nets. So far in this game, they scored 22% of their goals in the first half of the matches. 5 goals before the break all season. It's the lowest percentage in the division. Pitching tonight with Real Madrid. Yeah, as the game progresses, starts fair towards thing that this is much closer to what Colorado is trying to do. up at all, right? There's no finding out that the team is more attacking as a unit. So man needs to be slipped on by Oberdi. It's cleared by Howson. Back in towards Beltran and finds that Jurba. It's deflected by Vines to get another corner from Valencia. Ball is all over the bit. Rebel that's all Mandi. Just no rounds. But if you are attacking us out, have a very danger go up to the day there. And also players with different routes and finish actions. The offset. Couldn't get that on target. But for the doubts around Real Madrid, see how a win tonight would put them just a point behind Barcelona. They do have the best defensive record in the division. Nobody's conceded fewer goals than Real Madrid. 18 this season. Yes. That's a bit particularly convincing. There is Jimenez to Valverde. You're right, Valois continued to trade some show on their defensive structure was in place. They maybe barried a little bit more the pressure, but it is an attack that they just in a month omsluit of de Lloyd natuurlijk. De laatste goed aan bij Coolhead. Maar bij Pepedo is David Jimenez to Carreras. If I 50% that person there's part that were all happy in Pilatus. Down there to Coolhead. So it is. There, but it's like that last term. Spoke to Pepedo. There's absolutely no one ahead of him. But now he might find Anjuma. Anjuma with the touch. Signed Villadudo. He's 7th club in the last 7 years out of Anjuma. Undoubtedly talented player. These are football, eh? That's a settled. All their last season, Stephen. Premier League, Everton, Tottenham, all of us. It's real, sir. We've doubled down at hand side. He is left-footed though. So I think they're picking up every sport. The Jua, they tend to show the coaches that he's a little bit not disciplined enough. And he wants a threat up front, but doesn't justify it because it doesn't bring the goals either. So it's in no man's land at the moment. Jimenez. There. Kameni and to Carreras. I think that Santos left foot and let's slide. Well, what that's the thing. Yes, it's asking them to move the ball around, but that's fine. They also have to trust show the players that are rivals next to them. I insist the idea if there is somebody that can open up the defenses, he's found himself. I was looking at him, just tries to get in between the lines and from that position create something. Well, the ball doesn't get to him, so it's one team that don't score is not just the forward that doesn't do well. It's just how you get the ball into the same work, and they haven't been able to do that. its superiority with possibilities of scoring. Also, in those in this first half. That's also down to Valencia. They're very, very solid. When they attack. 3 or 4 on the rush, just make sure that gaps are all left. Because then that's in this pool there. And look at the lines. I mean, how far they gets beyond one of those lines. Just about. It's another corner. There was a very sit line of 9. To score that for Real Madrid. Comes it in towards Gonzalo. It might fall to Mbappe. Here back to Mazinga. To the left, for Mbappe, cleared by Beltran. And Juna doesn't know what to do, but Hernandez did sit and grab it to the back. It's good at it. Space here for David Jimenez. Good Yoki cross. But Sala Garcia, who is so strong in the air, couldn't connect. And Madrid keeps momentum going again. Mbappe adding into Pepe Luke, falling onto the bounds, and it's for a free kick. And sad. But this team managed to do it very well at the right-hand side, but it seems to be very often like a black spot where they no super. So he appears in good positions, but I don't know what he gets that. Until Guller gets the ball, as he just done there, so on the rob from one of the also youngster, that proper ball was put with danger and into the box. This was a classic fixture of Spanish football in recent years. There has been plenty of drama in it, resembling 40 minutes or so. And a little big team. There is Nelson despite the shot into the box, called it. And better to that. And it's gone down. And state of sound is leading the other one. Dotan himself isn't appealing too much. Yeah, he's alright. I was going to say first, demand something out of this that is the generally well sent, shouldn't live up to the ball early. This is one of those games where if the referee makes it to a mistake, it'll be a hard night for him because fans are waiting for that opportunity to put pressure to the ref. One of those difficult stadiums for rivals and Anthony definitely, but he's going to well the game going well. And it's Tavinga striding forward. Now to Carreras. And that gets it. It's a sweatshirt, but it is a rebike. It must be a decision taken by the manager first. And the player top shack and the turn ball trying to create there. I think should be more often where he is. If I say he will fully accept it with just a 9. The goals are, there's no doubt about that, but it's an element to do that they don't like. There is Bula looking for Mbappe. Comes Dimitrescu. Mbappe to suggesting a little bit into the more answer at that pass. His favourite system is me. It's a level there's 7 or 8 passes that have meant goals for Mbappe. House loads the header, finds out a goal there. Donald Simpson does this one there. Next to drive with the ball in counter-attacks is the first one. Running one, there is the chance to Lucho. Has to shoot from outside the box. But with these deep defense, or when they are very, very solid and defending on the edge of the box. She's another net. Netting for Mbappe. This is just on the edge of the area. Gonzalo, Carreras. Soon with my better dad. Yeah, but it showed. Sorry, we did say that the games against the two sides have always been emotional affairs. Yet very tight. It's 2-1 in both games, one victory each. This was in not much separating them. And today it is psychology. There's Mbappe, lovely first starts. Can he get the shot away? He's pushed wide. Pete manages to deep the ball in. The offside cheers. Dura will chase. It's the final minute of this 45s. And the Michael Pence in it at this time. Oh, this is an interesting game. I think the wishes has tended to be a little bit against Real Madrid wouldn't have the hold, but also what the fact that Valencia are not keeping the ball for long periods. Started well, but in the last few minutes, you haven't seen a match of that. Huge calmness to the team and to the fans, and attacking away, they can create chances. There hasn't happened. Less attentive defense. Last game threats the nations about that offside call. Kylian Mbappe. It's Beres back on 45 minutes. The half-side whistle at Mestalla. Leaves goalless between Valencia and Real Madrid. Not too many clear-cut chances at either end. Hamster David Jimenez on his debut for Real Madrid, forcing a decent save from Stola Dimitrescu. It's also been another save denied Kylian Mbappe. So happy with that. Hang on. make the team feel that they shouldn't concede first of all. They've not very much. In fact, as you said, in any equilibrium. It's so what I'd say they've been putting towels, they've been on the point, they're pressing on the edge, on the 3 corners, but I know I'm not so afraid it's not some children. That's all real that in 5 and you know I'm not jokes so I love have a shot more goal out of the necessarily I chest yes but the end of the thing man I get shots in my that was giving us a bus for the wings. I mean boy his shots so it's what I actually want to be quite a lot of free to there's an all over even I mean one thing is when you can tell you what happened you know what to it is start and create it they are in the look for the players that can do that pass the number and we found out that the living also the Bears found with the players one shot away to take it on that ball the short shot steep disappears and Hoises more small danger in the front and then so yes need a team ref agree with you maybe and funds and tricks to them in steady pain spins to goals silences expansion goals in that first half 0.1 to Real Madrid's 0.3 if you not that okay with XG or you're not that interested basically that translates as not very good not a knock of expected goals in that first half you see things starting up having the second with hearing and we'll say in a headline local paper in it's here Real Madrid were in illegal speedina the enemy who's like an sprint who's provided relief basically saying in the last few seasons when Valencia are a bit in trouble the game against Real Madrid at Mestalla has provided a stimulus for them so that's also trouble the big performance and see if they get that big performance in the second half people being fair for tries of Valencia to actually win this game almost as an obligation. Of course, it gives you a lot of pulse in the future and changes the atmosphere. But I do feel that the team are quite similar to the election and wishes against the manager as well as the usual ones against the ownership. Camara is seen as somebody close to the ownership. Not chance to beat the lean, but Rumble Light and your CEO, of course, they work together in England and this week. Well, concerned that Camara is staying, that there's have been accusations that he hasn't made a lot with what he has been given 70 players, 3 new ones in January, 7 in the summer, and seems to have played that well. And some key players like Batman together, we've already talked to the thing, they haven't improved. It's down to the manager. And Persia teams pouring forward from the good pitch. Also suggested one of the reasons why Corbaran is still in a job. Yes, his person made to long call there. Also, when it's a still paid, thinking of that previous manager, over Barata. Then the seller 3-year deals for them be more payments years ago. But they can book full and they just need to find some consistency in the thing. It's proven to me a manager that improves teams. A lot of the accusations have to do with special hiring, similar to different treat players in the way that they like to be treated, that is too demanding, and that sometimes reduces the chance. Juma in that born in play against Asensio. Instead, closing and protection, but shook it up. Yeti to no one's file. The debate at Famada Damjuma finding a cross was difficult for Beltran. This cautious as Valencia has been so far, but suggested that ambition is to actually do more often in the second half. Then with a header, Mavingo with the interception. It was gone down. And Chula. Yeah, now this right had Sandy at the offer. The Penu. Nobody there. Stat in the first half. 22% of Valencia's goals this season have come in the first half, which means the 78% come in the second. There is with that Juma. This is Sakaya. Gets it back down Juma. He didn't shut away. Stood them Juma out to Kaya. So there's a Vivi. Zuba had a chance to get a shot on goal there. I like that they protest to use innocence there, and it's to the dead. Just put her down. I don't know if you are trying to make sure they've been on this position. Possession and the position. That they there. Because Brahman recalls it. Cops, they can break counter attack, which they are well structured. That means also that like having a bit of imagination. What's the goal? The ball in it upstairs. And Madrid, same as normally very bad structured. They just have to find any kind of avenue to just threaten Valencia. It's all predictable and all charge once in it. Asensio. Get the ball away to Nathan. Haven't been to Caveras. But we've done advantage. We know that they don't need to put a lot of pressure in quiet areas because the many Christians they won. Neither Gonzalo nor Perez, the strengths and the midfielders shouldn't get into the box. Pelican mission of players, for instance. They're very compatible. It's Chamini. To Camavinga. Hey. I wait, I Penu. Well, that makes things difficult for him. The predicts getting out the loose ball and finding Danju. That size to take the bomb at his stride. Though they submitted, getting back into position. Who's Danju? And signs but he had a hit for a decent position at Juga, but not taking a shot on. Defended on good Mendes. Ball is chipped in by the Ossa. He's continuing to sound so what. And so after Arafaz with the red light, Ernest can sign from Shadow. Bunad. To challenging Champagne. Stu. That's one of those that was blocked. So I felt hard. What did it do? This did you know almost more happening? And that's the language every opportunity to body the position of the bar. So starts to find the phone of Lope. One day attacked and look how she with the French one is. Just no chance to the take chance. It's flow. Now Madrid, Valencia as well. And so as they get right in the first half. And I was playing, it's warming up for the hosts. Rudy's down side. It needs the pass through. And now Madrid kept a clean sheet at the start for 13 hours. Hasn't had fixture. Valencia usually scoring. Too close tonight yet. Sano. The covering challenge. Near corner. Had a couple of corners in this game. It's one it's all Real Madrid. Thanks to Valencia. Now that's it. Those any real problems. See. Cool. Brian spotted. Don't see who comes packed. Okay. Yes. I try to share later. Was bad. A little sure. Got up and down. Real Madrid fan is the shot. Fans have let the goal there. Lead their allegiance is known. Oh, he's had issue many. But it's done well on his evening. Leader scored. And it's Mbappe. Towards Gonzalo Dayal with a header. And can seem to be 60th highest number of penalty set pieces this season in that even only bottoms up of Yoda just conceded one goal and their power situations. And counts so far this evening. And something happens with the power. I think that Cadien now that seems to be a super outside thing. It's a penalty to the football thing. Champoula headed away by Pepeno. Medas, Samani. Step out of there, go down, do this. Sashed it forward. A bit too many to make that pass, which he did. Nelson loses out and it's followed to that Juma. So it's switched it on the other side. There are white shirts scoring for it. Hoopy needs City Belton. Rioja sprinting forward down the right-hand side. Here is Luis Bielsa. Belter out on the over that. Rioja goes to goal. And fall to Beltran. Rioja passes it in again. At Musling. Hula. And we stand Chula. So but that's the suture. Around the system finish. There was from the part. There's nobody preaching currently holding one. There's not Temple as soon as they get the goal in the wing. First is playing. It's past passes this person, just balls against the box, pulsing by us. It's just not doing nothing about it. Unless they're trying to find some counters in the last 2 or 3 actions in the shouldn't do a scoring box. And it's at back as well. There is a match. They need players, players that can play off sprint. concede to Sweden. But him certainly Trent where he survived this pressure. Some thought I would be hoping that he would be that kind of player, but hasn't shown him yet. And also, no. I think it's actually saying that this is one of the lowest quality and in Real Madrid's that you see in recent years. Above this time. Especially on the Comarán. You did mention on Jimenez's debut that 3rd of January, he's 1-1 until the last stages of the game. The team played really well as obviously a new manager that wanted to impress. They did impress, and the fans were happy this was here. And then there's Santiago Marel, already hadn't managed to win many games. Obviously, then they get developed to 3 points, they said that whichever winner that was the best Valencia of the club where I need that up also giving us nice highlights. But today, 1 hour out the game, too much. And a draw between these two sides, this 2012s. I have nothing to with this warm up. One by hand, with these instructions. Of course, Real Madrid is using cheap players. There's his to Bellingham and Twitter. But in theory, it helped. That is excellent too much for them in recent years here, and I have been involved. And the extraordinary thing is that it is coded goal. I'm green. This the fun. What it did, but Barcelona. Strength. Keeping the most ardent now, but at least I think better football of the whole day. Here is everybody though. It's possessed. But I've been today that there's a name in the title hunt series. Paredes. Really well to find Camavinga. He's been did it as well. Who that? It's Paredes up ahead of him. Space here from Gonzalo. It's possessed by the off foul, and it gets it back on Gonzalo. Paredes. Despite the shade that much control is the football please it once. So it's not new in the game. It's not game plan really or style that they can hang on to. It's just there will be a move, spark, something would happen. And generally that's how they take the points. Is that it'll be a movement? How? Stop well from distance. Oh, do we press? Until it's about that. What? It's a straight shoot. That handball ball did come through the Real Madrid Youth Academy. Maduro made 3 appearances for the first team. And that man thinking about the shot to Paredes. But Jose Nunez, who's since had a impressive debut. Yeah, the solution to Marshall really well. Only one thing in mind, I think Kumara's it's a device that suits only the 10 of the world. So good decision from the manager. Do that. And then once it again, that's Jimenez. Chamedi. Valencia til måls afsæt. Stænker. Tresti. Sam dodging, let's get forward. Maduro frustrated with the collision. So they have she run the bike to that. That's that decision to play long was the fans, not the goal. The one that creature session. I'm sure that the decision about and there is Napello. Small wasted Chamadi. Both sides could maybe do with them some fresh legs. Let's see what's wearing it. Midweek for Del Rey. Wapped tribe shift them, question Trinidad Paris started really well, didn't it? He's disappeared. Here he is. Scored an absolutely terrific goal against Valencia. Alvaro Carreras has scored for Real Madrid in this season. eFootball did everything what it is. What is trying to straight to the defense. Rares on the slightly flat. Pass Parks the default on the battery. They just going, him just going. It's spell the district. Spell it as him. It needed to mutually. He's a play on Sunday. I'm running up ready. Well, did Ramadi try to play for that? No, not really, but especially no kids around with the birds. Yeah, possibly. But that's all the shame, not everybody. That's the point. If they spend a lot of time in the box or out of boss, things better happen. It'd be a highway edition, but it's done with the band. So hard to name shot on the edge of the studio post with the possibility of finishing it. I'm there, I don't even hit it, not in the preferred ways, but it goes in, and then now they'll change. They'll get changes. We were asking for these of Viola guys because he can, and then he found himself finishing with the right foot, so his favorite. But in any case, he did it, and now this is a completely different game. Whereas he had defended well, but action has happened. Carreras finding the back of the net. A big goal. It's the side. Out of the lower. Here is Maduro, the other end of the pitch. Carreras, second goal of the season. Both have come against Valencia. And they're moving us, striding forward. The offset. Since to north of Club. Now they will have to do that in order to get a centre back, but in the city, just when I thought perhaps even changing the formation, they're gonna have to risk. They're gonna have to produce much more, and it's rather those teams that the quantity of chances don't get automatically converted into goals. How does this in Maduro? So really well percentage-wise and goals per minute, but the head of the team has to help. And right now, I think they're going to have to change the mind frame. It was a team made to make sure that Real Madrid didn't counter-attack, make sure that they didn't have enough shots, that they didn't find an Mbappe, and most of it, they've done it really well, Lions here, but now you see the formation has already changed. It's forward at the back. It's the continuous I wish we will see, but that's how we're standing at the band. Chance yet to manage his shot on target in the game. Now high to Mbappe. Now they get stand. So that doesn't get him on the end of that. Now there's still a bit of a side field on something you could say at a bunch, but still no chip to get the fifth defender. So An important moment for Cameroon in the eyes of the fans. Substitutions made against a mythic club, and especially against Betis. 2 games in which the team have performed well, but I especially saw the key players team started dropping, and the goals came as we pulled down on the manager. And so let's see what exactly when substitutions next helped out when he possession back for Valencia. It continuing his line. Then I don't think so it's the butt. And plenty of attacking options on the bench for Valencia. They've got Sadiq, Gabriel Lopez, and Masadi, rather Neida, players that can make a difference in the final third. And takes free kick. And way by Howson. Suicide, sir. And Tobes just won this evening. No, remember that little bit back heel. Forwards back heel, that's the only one, and that was if he would have a chance. Caution, yeah. So finally now as we head into the last 20 minutes, changes are afoot, and they are. That any of the players that I mentioned, Guido Rodriguez and Thierry Correa, coming on. Up in Zeus Toyota. And it's Pista Belter. It's something this Belter. Big change. So high in a quick game. This stars. But couldn't get it on target. That was the best chance pass in game for Gator Side. And that may be what Valencia are trying to do, especially Thierry Correa comes on and with Guido Loria distributing the ball, so hits the post. This was a great opportunity for Valencia to score, but hopefully that will give them the belief that Madrid put the ball in, and if it is enough Valencia players in the box, things could happen. Hey, Tasselin, Chomed. Getting the better of him, still in Mbappe, falls back. Alverne. And to Dennis, good ball in. It's only the header. Brilic has to go away. This change, the 2 changes for Valencia. Some place out. Oh, that's not there, no. You know, you go, they're breakers. That's good. On. And I know. This. So that could be perhaps a turn into a back 4 maybe, and then of course Guido Rodriguez was signing that is for Valencia, welcome winner, who had the plan by his handle. This how we say it. Look, he was in a great position, wanted to leave, was rescinded the contract with them. Some would have preferred to happen, he was playing for them. She's only signed until the other season. That's kind of a risking thing. If he gets injured or the World Cup doesn't go well for him, then 2 happens, but he's got some confidence in team like in a player contract, either he or someone else. Meanwhile, Valencia get a top player, done so well at better using at Greece, and he's feel that of even another quality than the talent. He'll be a regular very, very soon. He is a midfielder. There's no number 2. And they are near. numbers available. Who is the third? It's still Beltran. Udo picks up a loose ball out by to the offset. Moulin finding Mbappe. There's the intensive shipping from Chomet. Had to be perfect and was. There was more impetus about Valencia now. And the sun started looking to the equalizer. It was Thierry. That's it. Some with the header. Only as far as Vintage. Gaia, best bet of the game this for Valencia. Danjuma. Two blue shots ahead of him. Then well up to Danjuma. Tequido. Yeah, best spell for Valencia. The growing confidence perhaps that the changes have made a difference. They've got the energy. Sure, because that's what Real Madrid are the best as well. You believe that you're getting at them and just wait for one of them. But they thought 6-3 wrapped up. That's what historically happened. Every game is different. Oh, third leg can play and I about to show in the back leg. Will be really chant wide to Danjuma. Last 15 minutes at Mestalla. Valencia looking for the equaliser in from Danjuma. All defended by Semenez. And then came you get already at full round. But first, rip up here to the big and done to that of Semenez. But it was off. Boy, dan zie je het uit de hand altijd spaas in de air en zit in de humans. Sano, let's see him as he said very lots. Face high die. Myself, it's a bit amazing, but the more the last third, probably one and 3 kids and Mbappe and they're starting around. Sancho open up spaces for him. For him, a different kind of player. He's badly affected by the foul of the Athlon, but he's a figure from his head. And Trent honestly hopes that this is the beginning of his time at Real Madrid. Even though Mohamed's been for a while now on the bench, it's not positioned to be hard to correct anything, maybe physically he's still not there. And Trent has been trained in car this week, that it's a work people to home. So ready to open up a new challenge in his career from Madrid. Here's Naya, Guido. Oblinic, standing at the tops there from Oblinic. And it's perhaps a great thought for the foul from Guled. Ball looking for Bayar and finding him, tries to move forward first time to Danjuma. Then is Gaia looking for Danjuma and finding it. Danjuma slid into the big times and that Danjuma. As Mbappe goes past Tomat. Spring-like shots for Siri dip. And Mbappe in full flight. Hits the cross. Fantsune. It reminded me of a story Xavi Hernandez told me didn't feel that whatsoever. When he started, when the first time that he showed Tyrion reading, it's actually that kind of thing, like, Mona really wanted to do that behind. And he was thinking, whatever he wants to have pace. And what that kind of pace is unique for football. It's so strong and is Goulet finding Mbappe in space. Thinks about the shot. Still to thread it to Brahim. There's Carreras to Goulet. Just comfortable in possession, holding onto the ball. Sprint to Howson. I think it was always movements. Looking at them and the time. Further down, ready to go. Is it fair to joke Steven? Manager I did mention about but obviously the discontent is I'm going out this so annoying. And it's so much simpler to understand about the transmission of vibration on all of the things that happen. This is not a good Valencia, and there are players who hope to play better. They saw that they had takes of good slip in certain games, but not regularly enough. The launch going off is you mentioned a few times. It's Mbappe. He's stopped. Bright comes the goal. It was outside. Responsibility here in LaLiga. Brian Diaz. Instead of white hankies, and I had something being waved. So Umar Sadiq is coming on. When Sadiq comes on, and is it? Yes, I think it's a predictable players. Scored an own goal and then a goal. That's the athletic group. Midweek. Huh? Yeah. But thought that for Brian Diaz. The atmosphere has noticeably soured. Yes. With 10 minutes to go, 1-0 down against Real Madrid. I would say historically you get a desensitized reaction. Some fans, as you know, there's still things that could happen. There are players you just mentioned that will actually make a difference. You're going to see Ramazani. And it'd be better if that, I feel, fans. Palm Shepherd. There's something trying to repeat. That's it. But it's a second time, but it's a big game. This is a decision. That's the tonight, Lucas, both very Brady, very decent. You should change the mind of the fans. So how you support this into price? How does the pitch use these as the justification for Cubs going to continue? Will be determined by what happens in this game, but also by how much they believe in him, because you see that the ball was just and there's Emma. It is first line. And position from what you would expect him to score. Stuart Mbappe needs to find the target. So the next off for Valencia. We're going all out attack here with Sadiq, Dudo, Bamjuma and Ramazani all on the pitch together. Something must have turned and has come onto the pitch to replace Goulet. There he is. Carreras, who's the match winner at the moment. A little pass. Now Lazani doing so. Oh, he's put it back as well. Here is Carreras. Passed on Torno to Brahim. So Lynch cut from Real Madrid on the edge of the box. To take advantage of this substitution, they have done. They have to do what they've been doing for most of the second half, which is keep the ball and play as a unit. This is what Real Madrid are doing now. There is a freshness into the football. Still a lack of last pass that opens up things, but this movement. Valverde, Camavinga, Valera at one set. This is New Carreras. Scored the ball just before he started doing things. Made it the best moving on in the pitch. By reason just possessed. At the camp striding forward, but left it at the end of that. Nothing. And there they and pressure from Sadiq. To heavy ball. Just fell turn. But in each was not getting sort of shift. Highest attendance of the season at Mestalla. 7,515. And over the top, nothing for Sadiq. And then to the back of Valencia. There was a little lot there. No. And see this ball again. I never think so to happen for that goal to go in, but it weren't in. Because right at that point, Real Madrid spent 10 minutes around the box of Valencia. The fans may have lost faith in the manager. The story is coming out of is that so the players will try to flash face. If that is the case and the tension is inside the camp, then the teams will identify that. But I've seen a team that has played from the manager, a team that did not convert a good defensive structure to an offensive one when they needed to. That's their problem. We didn't have a styling forward. Not if they said it before it's to turn off. How it does it? And now Brian Diaz can come forward. Mastantolo tentatively calling for it. It's with Mbappe. And shoved over by Thierry. Gets to his feet. It's Chamini. And let's see what he possession about. Was Guido. Outlet for him, but plays the ball into space. And I hope something Thierry. Maybe that was a shoulder to shoulder. To Valencia have only been relegated once in their history. It was 40 years ago. And it's moved aside. It's maybe sixth season. And bounced immediately back after one season in the second tier. If I'm not mistaken, nervous. He put all the points to what I think they're fifth. And then just started the table of LaLiga. Central remembers Spaniel was bad until they went down twice in 5 years, and then Valencia overtake. Valencia are fifth. For the top four. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico, and Tactic 2. Sergio Dutch had never been down. Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Tactic 2 Have all played 95 seasons in LaLiga. So I'll tell you another story about this game. Paul Bogin. Yes. And you look at it, it's so distant. And there's another story. There's Asensio. On the way back to Courtois on his head. And rigid pass at evening. Still gets the shot to save. And another thing to discussion what the criticism we found is the 6 points separate the two sometimes. 6 points, 2 wins. That I think a lot of it has to do with expectations. Cameron comes in, Valencia were bottom. They improved so much that actually they saved last season. And then it's like, right, he'd taken it from here. Cameron was quite involved in the names that came in the summer, several new signings. Not everybody is impressed. Some players have not exposed. And the expectations have been disappointed. So now Sean has got to face that. At this stage of the season last year, after 22 games, Valencia were 19th, second bottom, 19 points. 17th, that's 23 points. 5 minutes added on at the end of the 90. Doesn't seem to be an atmosphere, any kind of belief amongst the fans that they can get back into this game. Lots of blue shirts streaming forward here, and Kylian Mbappe should finish it off, and Kylian Mbappe does finish it off. He finishes off Valencia. This season may have to start the second goal from Real Madrid. Mbappe's 23rd league goal of the season, and it is game over for Valencia this evening. 3 vital points for Real Madrid. 78 goals for Mbappe. This is an extraordinary season for English coach at this stage, 40. And he was on the back of Valencia, who had taken one of the centre backs away, but trying to crash out from Madrid high, but it is easy for them to find the gaps. Extraordinary shots. They left him on his own and produced the goal. Let's see a bit. This is the suggestion, of course, is that Mbappe may have been off at that point that the ball didn't go to him. And this is done by striker Source, and which they execute the fan very high. Well, I'll be in an offside position, but won't getting balls. Like the term that he used, the defenders are playing catch up. They're managing advantage of it, and at the moment, the response in the front is silence. Don't expect that to last for long. As Perez let it out there. There's a place like Potter, Cestero. Had featured in the Copa del Rey previously for Real Madrid this season. Bits a taste of league action. After the Atletico Bilbao, Atletico the seat in the cup. So and the BP waited for the team, the boss of the team, them taking the training ground when they got the chance to protest. Another way of protesting is, as you can see, leaving the pitch. It's interesting that the players used to leave the car in the stadium and go on to avoid the telling of the fans that you're all dead in the bus, then drive 25 minutes away or so to the training ground when the tires waiting for them. I feel that they will hear what the fans think. Performance at the end of the game, and when they flip over the bush, Sadi kind of makes something happen. He's found Guido. Now White, first shot in target for Valencia as we see this goal for Mbappé. That's a missed that. 4th to 5th defense, so ahead of the manager. From the CEO of Valencia, who in his press conference after the defeat against Athletic Club said that Conrad is the manager of Valencia. Rob is the manager of Valencia, so the truth we touch. It's not the same as saying Conrad can be the manager of Valencia, or this usual about his contract, or it's as far as he could go. And the wild is good, he's very fair there. Having up absolutely massive gains coming up for Valencia. Next up, next weekend, is their derby against Levante. Needs to get worse here for the... Santana goes the ball. Then after the game against Levante, it's a regional derby against Villarreal. Two local clashes for Valencia, which could really define how they go into the final part of the season. Who is at the helm, because Conrad is hanging on. I'm not sure he could survive 2 derby defeats. Good to see from that part of the well-being of Real. Short fall. But bad news for the Valencia sides. Ante Valencia's city. Downtime, least their highest style. We've seen Valencia Hilton high well over threes. Though Pereira succeeded in Mbappé with the second half tongs, Valencia remain in trouble. Madrid to the point to the leaders Barcelona was an absolutely vital victory for them. For just the medication. So in the game, Haverong has his second league goal of the season, but for him has come against Valencia. Madrid with the 7th consecutive win to them in LaLiga to keep pace with leaders Barcelona. It's interesting to see the Valencia players remaining on the pitch to whatever the fans have to say. So that's the plan was to contain Real Madrid. They did that well. They stepped on that to actually trying to record the notch ground. Same as it happened against the group said, as it happened against Betis. It's more difficult for these Valencia, and that's where the frustration of the fans. It's a defeat that you could expect, but it's just as for the shape of all the defeats this season remains. Well, it remains 4th bottom, 1 point away from relegation. It's not what they expected to be, and that brings his own reaction from everyone.